One thing that's always fascinated me about Italy is how it seamlessly blends the past and the present. That's especially true in the city of Turin. Maybe that's why I decided to live here. So every Saturday in Turin, there's a big street market that's focused on vintage and secondhand, mostly furniture and clothes and just everything. And it's called Balone. Once a month, there's a bigger version called Grand Balôn. It's going on today, so we're going to go check it out. Via Roma dates back to the 16th century, but it was rebuilt most recently after World War II, based on renovation plans from the 1930s. Most of the city suffered damage and destruction from the 5 years of relentless air raids in the war, but remarkably, some of the oldest structures were left standing. Shopping at flea markets always reminds me of my Sicilian grandmother, who made her own clothes and never threw anything away. Her closet was my first exposure to vintage fashion, and I still have a few coats that she wore in the 50s. I love the look of these antique chairs, but the price point is usually out of my budget. It is possible to negotiate here if you speak fluent Italian, but be prepared to deal with tourist pricing. Today, I'm not shopping for anything in particular, just browsing to get some ideas for decorating my new apartment. This market is more than just temporary stalls. Many of the vendors have permanent shops here where they buy, sell, and restore old furniture and art. It's really hot and there's a lot of people here, but it's actually not as crowded as it usually is because it's August and most people are on vacation. We're gonna go check out this indoor section real quick to cool off. I never asked my grandmother what she brought with her when she moved from Italy to the US alone to marry a man she'd never met. It couldn't have been much. The war had taken almost everything. I don't think she focused much on the past. She was too busy working to build a future for herself and her family. They say that history is passed down through generations, but most of the people who live through wars or other traumatic events aren't very eager to talk about it. So how do we know what really happened? History isn't a linear chain of events. It's more like a puzzle. And as we put the pieces together, we get a clear picture of the whole story. When they teach World War II history in the US, we learned about military battles, but not much about the widespread resistance movements that were happening on the ground the whole time. Books can tell us a lot about history, but I wonder if that will always be true. Digital records can be erased and manipulated, and modern forms of censorship can shape the narrative. But people will always find creative ways to document history. We do it by making music, creating art, films, documentaries, even silly YouTube videos. And some nostalgic decorative piece bought or sold at a flea market might one day come to represent a larger movement across the world. I popped into this cafe to cool off again with a refreshing cafe chocolato. Then I just had a few more minutes to browse before taking off. I managed to resist the handbags, but found a book in this 50-cent pile that is just at my reading level. See you in the next one.